Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and I'm back with my Jazzmasters here. I've got my Squier Vintage Modified that I've returned all the way as close as I could get it to stock condition, and my Fender American Professional 2, which I got in recently and I've fallen in love with. So anyways, I had done a ton of mods to the Squier, and I did a shootout between a highly modified cheap guitar versus a bone stock more expensive guitar, and a lot of you really like that video. And since I've decided that I'm going to sell this because this is, all the Jazzmaster I need now, I decided to strip back all those upgraded parts that were on here, the upgraded pickups, the upgraded mastery bridge, the descendant tremolo that was on here, and I took it all back to as close to stock as I possibly could. I couldn't find the original knobs, so I swapped out the knobs for these black Strat knobs, and I swapped out the switch tip for a black switch tip, and honestly, I think that's kind of sharp looking. I usually like more of a contrasty look, but having the knobs and the switch kind of disappear into the guitar and just the pickups pop out, I think there's something very handsome about that. Also, I never had the stock original bridge for this guitar. When I bought it used, it came with a mastery on it. That's part of the reason I bought it. So I put kind of a hybrid Jazzmaster Mustang style bridge on here that I had laying around. It's got the height adjustable barrels on it, but the barrels also have a dedicated string groove in it versus the stock Jazzmaster style that has a lot of grooves per barrel. So I think that's a nice compromise. It's pretty damn close to stock, we'll say that. I put the pickups back, I put the pick guard back, I even put the original rollers and black switch in here, even though that was an extra 20 minutes of my life desoldering and resoldering a switch. So anyways, I want to do a tone comparison and then talk about the hardware differences as well. Let's start off with the Squier first. We'll go through all of the pickup settings. Here it is on the bridge. Middle. Neck, and then the rhythm circuit. Do some lead stuff. That was the bridge. Here's the middle. I like the middle position. And the neck. And the rhythm position. All right, on to the American Professional 2, the sequel to the American Professional. I'm going to go through all the pickup settings, even though there's extra pickup settings on here compared to the Squier, thanks to a coil tap right there. Also, there's a fundamental difference with the rhythm circuit in that it doesn't do a single neck pickup through these different valued pots. It does a series parallel mod with both pickups on. So that's going to be a completely different sound. But anyways, here's the bridge pickup in the standard position. Here it is coil tapped. Middle position with the bridge pickup untapped. Here it is with the bridge pickup tapped. Neck pickup. And rhythm circuit. Rhythm circuit untapped. And now a little bit of lead stuff. Coil tapped. Middle position. Coil tapped. Neck pickup. And then the rhythm circuits. And that coil tap. 7 different pickup selections in all with the AmProII. So now let's play something with some reverb. I'm gonna be on the neck pickup because I tend to favor Jazzmaster neck pickups. I just think they sound fantastic. I always lose it right about there. Let's do a quick comparison. I'd say right off the bat, you know, there's obviously a difference in sound between these two sets of pickups. These are the stock Duncan design pickups in here, and I think these are more nasal, kind of bright, thin, spaghetti western sort of sounding pickups, where these pickups in the AmProII are warmer, maybe chimier is a good word. There's like, you know, this chime to the strum and whatnot. There's more like low bottom end going on. There's just more frequencies coming out of this, I feel, where this is a tighter, brighter, twangier, maybe pickup. I honestly think these sound great. I really like the sound of these pickups, but these sound like more. They sound more complex. They sound a little bit more mature, I guess, where these are more of like a blunt force object to push, you know, reverb into drip and stuff like that. Like I said, I like these. The only reason I swapped pickups out in this in the first place is because pickups were offered to me. I would have been happy to keep the stock pickups in this guitar forever because I actually really like them. I will say that after swapping the hardware back to stock, the bridge and the tremolo, this guitar feels a lot cheaper now. It just does. That mastery bridge and the descendant tremolo really elevated this. Pickups are like purely like a taste thing. Like you like the sound or you don't. You seek out a different sound if you don't like it. But the feel, the response of the hardware makes a huge difference. It really does. Yeah, the divide is just so much wider now. This being a very pleasurable guitar to play, a pleasurable player, as I like to call them, and this feeling like its price point now. The tremolo, the stock tremolo, is a lot stiffer, a lot less responsive, where this is kind of smooth and light and fluttery in a really pleasurable sort of way. This bridge on the AmProII is rock solid. Just rock solid. I know it looks like a Mustang bridge, and in concept it is, but it's just dialed in really nice. There's no rattling, there's no buzzing, anything like that. I am getting rattling on the D string. I could do the work to dial that out, but honestly, I just want to sell this thing and make some space over here. And it just feels more solid. There's something about this cheap bridge that just feels light and kind of punky, you know? That being said, I mean, this is a great guitar. The vintage modified Squiers, the classic vibe Squiers are all really fantastic guitars, especially like if you're going to explore offsets for the first time ever. I totally recommend getting a budget one first to figure out if you even like offsets. If you even like this style of tremolo, if you even like this whole bridge setup, even if you even like the pickups, They're very unique guitars. They bring a lot of challenges with them and a lot of rewards. But I wouldn't recommend to anyone to jump in, to offsets with a more expensive model like this. Unless you got the money to throw around, that's up to you. I don't know your budget. But for people like me who have a budget similar to mine, yeah, I totally recommend this. And then you can go on a crazy modding journey. You can throw high-end pickups in here. You can throw a high-end bridge, a high-end tremolo. You can take it to a tech or do it yourself and dress all the frets and make them, super chromy, glossy with ball ends on them and stuff like that. You can swap the nut. You can go crazy modifying these things without feeling like you're ruining something that someone is going to care about, right? And you can do it on the cheap. When I had this all modded and fixed up, the feel difference between this and this was a lot closer. There were differences in the frets and in the resonance of the body, but it just felt a lot closer to dialed in, and it did it for close to about $1,000. Cost of the guitar, cost of the upgrades, where this is a $1,600 guitar. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love this guitar. I don't have to do anything to it, but there is a price difference there. And like I've just done, when you decide someday, you probably will. Some people like to think like, oh, I'm going to keep my guitar forever. You're probably not. Someday you are going to sell each and one of your guitars unless you die before you get around to it. If you sell an upgraded Squier, you can do what I did and strip it all back. And I've got all the parts sitting over here. I've got the pickups right here. I've got the tremolo and the bridge in a drawer. I'm planning on using those for a future project. I don't even know the project yet, but I can save all that stuff and put this back on the market for what it's worth as a used Squier. I fully get behind mod projects. I fully get behind upgrade projects. But I got to say, right out of the box, the AmPro II is just such a better guitar. Subjectively, anyways. Well, anyways, there it is. I think I've said my piece. I think I've made my point. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt if you're naked. Subscribe to the podcast. Rate and review it on iTunes. And you know what? Stay grounded. And also stay tuned. I'm going to play out with some sort of surfy little jam where I swap between guitars. All right. Bye, everybody.